I'm joined by the Catholic Archbishop of Sydney, Anthony Fisher. Archbishop, thank you so much indeed for your time. Listen, a pub can have 50 people in your state next week, a church just 10. What do you think of those priorities?
Well, it doesn't make any sense to me, Andrew. I think that we've now reached the stage where it's not just pubs, but clubs, casinos, it's going to be museums, zoos, libraries, you name it. They can all have 50 people. But churches apparently are such scary, germy places that they've got to be restricted to 10 only. Well, that makes no sense. If someone can catch a bus to St Mary's Cathedral with 20 other people, but only 10 can go inside when the cathedral's 100 times the size of a bus, there is no logic to how this is being applied at the moment.
That is a most excellent comparison. But what does it actually tell you about the priorities of government and society that churches, and it's not just, you know, in New South Wales, I gave you the example of South Australia, 80 in a pub, 20 in a church. What does it tell you that churches have been treated like this?
Well, it might reflect that some of the other industries, groups are fiercer at lobbying government and pushing their interests. It might be that some of them are paying, like casinos pay taxes to state governments that they are interested in receiving. So there could be an economic side to this. I'm not sure what is the reason for this double standard, but for a lot of ordinary people right now, they are feeling isolated, they're feeling anxious, they want the consolation of being able to go to church, to pray and to be there with fellow worshippers. It's an important part of our community's life. It gives people hope and inspiration and love at this time, and surely we can open our churches with arms wide open as our pubs and clubs and the like.
I would have thought so. I would have thought so. Can I just ask one specific question about the health risk? We've seen, for example, a choir in America, an amazing transmission of the virus in a choir, with evidence that singing with all the deep breathing that goes with it can really spread the virus. Is this going to affect church practices, you know, churches allowing singing or banning singing? What's going to happen here?
Well, what we're doing already in our churches and are planning as they do open up, we hope in the weeks ahead, is we've brought a whole series of new directives in to make them the safest possible places. So we'll be asking all the elderly and those with compromised immune systems and respiratory systems to stay away. We've stopped any communion practices that might risk transferring disease. We're not even going to pass the collection plate or the hymn books around because we don't want people passing things from one to another. We're socially distancing people. There'll be stickers in the pews telling you where you can sit and where you can't. We're going to have the hand sanitizer at every door. We're going to do all the things that any public place are doing and more to ensure that these are the safest possible places. And if the health experts tell us that it's best that people don't sing at church, that it just be the choir and that they be a great distance away from each other and from the people, well, we'll accommodate that too. We're reasonable, responsible citizens. We just want to
you can all have a
pray
collective
to God.
humming, maybe. Yes, well, exactly
That's
correct.
Right.
And you can hum. Just broadly, though, what do you think this virus and our reaction to it has told you about Australia?
Look, it's interesting. I think that we've shown something of our best in terms of our all coming together and being responsible and doing our best to keep ourselves and each other safe. But I also think it's shown some of our worst. And you don't have to focus just on the World War loo, the panic buying and all that went on. Just more recently, there's been this sense that all that matters is our physical security and our financial or economic security, as if there's nothing else about human beings that matters. But actually our emotional, our spiritual, our social life, those things matter hugely to people too. And that's not a mental illness to feel lonely or to grieve or to miss people, to miss intimacy, to miss company, to miss friendship. it'd be a mental illness not to miss those things. And so instead of putting it in that category and saying that's another health issue, no, it's not. The fact is human beings need physical and mental health. They need a good economy. But they also need a civic life. They need friendship. They need a social life. They need things like prayer and worship. And so if you have a richer sense of what human beings need to thrive, you'll realise that it's not good enough just to keep us physically safe and economically safe.
I thought some of those stay-home rules were far too extreme, and the rules on limiting funerals were, I thought, needlessly cruel in many cases. They should have been ways to work around those. Archbishop Fisher, thank you so much indeed for your time.
It's been great being with you, Andrew. God bless all the viewers.
Thank you.